The National Guard has officially been deployed across Washington, D.C. We have now seen images of guardsmen being prepared to roam the streets of D.C. near the Washington Monument. Meanwhile, in Georgetown, we have now seen videos of FBI agents alongside other federal agents and local Metropolitan Police Department officials roaming the streets of Georgetown, which is actually one of the more affluent neighborhoods of Washington, D.C., one of the more quieter neighborhoods of Washington, D.C. And yet we are still seeing images come out of Georgetown of federal agents roaming the streets. This comes after Donald Trump invoked the Home Rule Act and essentially took the power to manage DC's law enforcement from Washington, DC. And despite that, with crime being at a 30-year low in Washington, D.C., local officials are demanding answers this morning because right now, simply, there is no reason for this quote authoritarian push, as D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser put it. She is escalating her criticism of Donald Trump's deployment of federal agents and a National Guard, urging residents to defend the city's autonomy to elect a Democratic House of Representatives to be a check on the power of the president. She also previously pledged to cooperate with federal forces, but she is going hard this morning, denouncing Donald Trump, calling this an authoritarian takeover. I spent the morning biking around Washington, D.C. to really see whether or not there are National Guard posts across the city, whether federal agents are still roaming the streets, and that's just not happening. It is relatively quiet during the day. Then at night, in certain small pockets of the city, you have federal agents roaming the streets. It may pick up as we head into the weekend, but ultimately, right now, business is as usual in Washington, D.C. And I will continue providing you coverage throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the weekend, because the world needs to know the truth about what's happening in our city. So please subscribe to support my work by clicking the button below or sending a one time donation via Venmo to Aaron Parnas. Now, meanwhile, the redistricting battle is heating up. Yesterday, we learned from ABC News that Texas Democrats are planning to return back to the state for a second special session. So essentially, Governor Greg Abbott called a special session in which he decided to gerrymander five Democratic held seats, congressional seats. This map would wipe those five seats out. The original purpose for that special session was to provide resources to flood victims in Central Texas. Well, that didn't happen. Instead, Texas Republicans pushed for this gerrymandering effort. Texas Democrats decided, you know what, screw you, we're going to leave the state. They fled the state, they broke quorum. They have prevented Texas Republicans from passing the new legislative maps. And the special session runs out on Friday of this week, so in just 2 days on August 15th. But according to ABC News, the Texas Democrats do plan on returning back to Texas after this first special session ends. But that won't stop Texas Republicans. Texas Republicans under Governor Abbott have vowed to continue calling more special sessions until these maps are passed. So there'll be a second special session in the next several months. Texas Democrats will probably be there and the maps will probably pass. Now, a source close to Texas Democrats tells me that no decision has been made yet, despite the ABC reporting, but all signs point to Texas Democrats returning home. Meanwhile, in California, Governor Gavin Newsom is now confirming that the state will draw new electoral maps after Donald Trump, quote, missed a key redistricting deadline. He mocked the president, saying in all caps, dubbed Taco, calling Trump Taco, Trump always chickens out. Then he essentially said that, you know what, we're going to gerrymander, we're going to redistrict the maps. And California right now, California Republicans have 9 seats. Theoretically, a new map in California could redistrict about 4 or 5 of those Republicans out of their seats, completely offsetting any losses that Democrats face in Texas. Now, in California, it's a little bit of a different process. You right now have an independent redistricting commission in California. Essentially, it is not decided by the legislature, it's not decided by the governor, it's decided by this independent body, the maps within the state. Well, Governor Newsom is likely going to announce this week that he's going to put a ballot measure on the ballot for citizens in California to vote this November to decide whether or not to essentially draw new maps, to eliminate the independent commission and draw new maps. And if Governor Newsom does that in California, then Governor Hochul can do that theoretically in New York. And then Governor Pritzker can do something similar in Illinois. And then Governor Moore can do something similar in Maryland. And ultimately, when you go state by state and you see which states will gerrymander or redistrict while other states won't, at the end of the day, Democrats will come out ahead, even though it is really a race to the bottom. But when you think about it, Texas Republicans have started this fight. Democrats didn't start this fight. And when you go back through the congressional records, Democrats put forth a bill in the past several years that would have eliminated unconstitutional gerrymander, would have eliminated it. There would have been no race to the bottom. And yet every single Republican in the House voted against this bill. So here we are. Meanwhile, this week, Donald Trump is meeting with Vladimir Putin in a major high stakes summit in Alaska, in Anchorage, Alaska, and he's facing some criticism. Why? Because Trump has isolated and sidelined experienced Russia specialists after deep cuts to the federal workforce, leaving key diplomatic posts unfilled, and negotiations are currently led by non experts. Trump is meeting with President Zelensky of Ukraine along with European leaders today ahead of the summit on Friday, which will not include Ukraine. Let's talk about something that the Trump administration is doing regarding human rights. There's a key State Department human rights report that is released every year. And well, this year, the Trump State Department toned down criticism of allied nations like El Salvador and Israel, omitting references to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and the death toll faced by the Palestinian citizens in Gaza. They emphasized alleged free speech erosion in Europe, increased criticism of Brazil and South Africa. Language on LGBTQ plus rights was largely removed compared to the Biden reports, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine is now dubbed as the Russia-Ukraine war. A federal judge ordered the Trump administration to immediately improve the conditions at a New York City immigration holding facility following mounting detainee complaints of overcrowded, unsanitary, and inhumane cells. Meanwhile, finally, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to restore part of the $584 million in federal grants it had previously frozen for UCLA, ruling that the suspension violated a June injunction protecting the University of California system funding. Folks, that's all the news right now. If you want to support my work, subscribe today. I'll be around DC. I'll let you know when I see the National Guard, if I see the National Guard, and I'll see you this evening with another report. Hey folks, Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching the Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.